teach you the basics of girl text analyzing, or what's otherwise known as GTA. Walk with me. During today's show, we're going to be exploring the fascinating world of GTA and the underlying meaning to common text messages. Those professional GTAs, or girl text analyzers, know the importance of being able to properly respond to a text message in order to make or break a relationship. Although GTA is a skilled art form only to be mastered by yourself, today me and my expert team are going to give you the tools to enhance your knowledge, translation, and analyzation of received and sent text messages. There are many ways that GTA is understood in the world, and it sometimes can be a daunting subject. So our field professional Bianca went out to talk to some regular college students and get some real-world answers.
Are you familiar with the GTA movement?
Girl text analyzing? Obviously, it takes over my life.
Do you think that girls analyze text a lot more than boys do?
100%.
So how do you feel about GTA?
I think it's awful. It's really been one of the worst things to happen.
When's the last time you performed GTA?
I'm doing it right now.
So how experienced are you in the field of GTA?
I would say I'm pretty much a beginner.
I would say I'm definitely a professional.
I hate GTA.
So how do you feel about GTA?
I hate it.
There you have it. Back to you, Sammy.
Wow, that was some interesting stuff. Girls are often misunderstood when it comes to texting for the simple fact that it's embedded in their DNA to analyze text messages, and it's been proven medically.
Hi, my name is Dr. Brew, and although I never graduated from medical school, I did take a chem course my freshman year at our local community college, which basically makes me an expert in genealogy. My team and I have been studying for years, and we finally had a breakthrough. We have found a marker on the TM1055694 gene that is the marker for text message analyzation, and it's prevalent on the XX chromosome in females. This marker takes effect as girls go through puberty, which is around the same time that most girls get cell phones. So if you do have this marker, the section of your brain that analyzes text messages becomes enlarged. Once this marker takes effect, it plagues you for the rest of your life. The only way to cure GTA is to understand the symptoms and respond appropriately. Back to you, Sammy.
Thanks, Doctor, for that fascinating information. In Lesson 1 of GTA, we're going to recognize those common rookie mistakes that GTAs make. Lesson 1 is known as the Hey lesson. To do this, we've invited specialist Polly, who holds a PhD in Hayology from the University of Alaska.
As many of you may already know, hey is the simplest form of saying hello. But in order to gauge the true meaning of it, you need to understand the difference. In order to break down the different levels of hey, I brought along a copy of the raw scale, also known as the K chart. As you can see from the raw scale, a scale designed by the most brilliant GTA of the age, there's a simple way to express how you're feeling at the beginning of a conversation. Let's say you just got out of a final exam, and I want to start a conversation with my friend Jane. Since I just finished my final, I'm probably feeling around a level 3 on the happy, excited part of the scale. And although I'm pretty excited, I don't feel like having particularly lengthy and detailed conversation, so I might rank around a 3 on the talkative / want to talk to you part of the scale. So I'll probably mark down a 3 on there. So in this case, what options do I have to start my conversation? That's right, I marked a 3 here and a 3 here. So I'm probably going to say hello with 3 O's and maybe 1 exclamation point. Depending on whether you put a what's up or not at the end, changes a little bit on the talkative scale. So there you have it.
Thanks, Polly. Wow, who would have thought there were so many meanings for the word hey? For Lesson 2, I'm going to turn it over to Dana. She's our in-house translation expert, and she's going to teach us about the cross-gender phrase interpretations.
Hi, I'm Dana. Thanks for joining us. Today we're going to be looking at a couple commonly used phrases in text messaging and how their inherent meaning differs from boys to girls. Let's take a look at the first one so you guys can get an idea of what I'm saying. The first phrase we're going to use is what's up. To a girl, she literally just means what's up. But for a boy, he actually means let's have sex. The next phrase we're going to look at is very common. Simply, what are you doing tonight? For a girl, she really means if I don't see you out, let's meet up later. But to a guy, he really means let's have sex tonight. Next is just, I'm bored. To a girl, she really means, all my friends are busy, so let's have sex. And to a boy, he really means, let's have sex right now. The next phrase is, do you want to see a movie tonight? Now a girl actually wants to know if the boy wants to see a movie tonight. And to a boy, he really means, let's turn on a movie and have sex. The next phrase is, I'm hungry. Now to a boy, this can mean one or two things. He can actually be meaning that he's hungry, or he can really mean, let's get food and then have sex. To a girl, who am I kidding? We're GW, girls don't text that to boys. The next phrase is, wish you were here. Oh. To a girl, she means I miss you, but not in a very needy kind of way. And for a boy, he really just means, I wish I could have sex with you right now. Now, there are two phrases that actually don't have double meanings. That means that they mean the same thing when both boys and girls text them to each other. The first is, come over. Now, to both a boy and a girl, this means, let's have sex right now. The second phrase is, I'll text you later. Now, to both boys and girls, this really means, I want to go out with my friends, but I want to have sex with you later. And that's all for now. I hope you enjoyed all these fun tips. Hopefully you can use them in your everyday texting life.
And now, to move on to our last lesson, we're going to go over punctuation. Punctuation marks, when used appropriately, can give text messages a secret meaning, good or bad.
Hi, I'm Molly. We're going to go over punctuation today. Let's start with the exclamation point. Meaning, something between playfulness and desperation. The exclamation point is the most valuable punctuation mark you have in your arsenal, but it's also the most dangerous. Because when you start overusing it, you look like an overeager, unconfident amateur. However, when used properly, an exclamation point can set a light, flirtatious tone. It can convey excitement and can even demonstrate interest in a person. Check out this comparison. Okay, sounds good. Not sure if we're going, but I might see you at the party. If you leave, let me know. Very matter of fact, businesslike. Does the person who sent this text really want to meet up, or is he just blowing you off? Hard to say. Okay, sounds good. Not sure if we're leaving, but I might see you at the party. If you leave, let me know. No doubt about it. He or she wants to stay informed on your plans and will make a clear effort to meet up. The exclamation point here shows the person writing is excited, engaged, and interested. However, like I said earlier, too many exclamation points comes off as needy. Okay, sounds good. Not sure if we're going, but I might see you at the party. If you leave, let me know. The first one is okay, the second one is way too overeager, and the third one is just flat out desperate. So use exclamation points properly, judiciously, and strategically to send the exact right message. Now, the period. Meaning, you don't want to keep going back and forth all night. In texting, you don't have to end a sentence with any punctuation. It's perfectly acceptable to just let it dangle. So using a period ends up presenting a certain air of finality to a statement. Let's look at an example. Sounds good. I'm heading out right now. The meaning is clear. We've had our back and forth over text, but I'm leaving the house and it's done. I have plans, and they do not include continuing this text conversation. Period. Now compare to this. Sounds good. I'm heading out right now. See the difference? Without the period, it feels much more open-ended and less like the endpoint of a conversation. It's an incomplete fragment that's just another line in your discussion, and this person is waiting for you to keep things going. Next is the apostrophe. Meaning, you pay attention to the little things. In textland, apostrophes have become endangered species. You'd is just as acceptable as you'd. I'd is just as acceptable as I'd. Your is just as acceptable as your. Or in the case of internet comments, your. So, when you actually take the time to use an apostrophe, it means something. I like to think it sends a subconscious message that you take extra time to do things right. And that effort, that giving, would translate into skills into a relationship, or at least into one extremely memorable sexual escapade. Next is question marks. The meaning really depends on how many question marks you use. Question marks have a tendency to get stacked onto each other, and with each stack, the meaning changes. Let's take a look. What time do you want to meet up? Simple, unassuming, and friendly. Gets the point across, elicits a response, but also drives toward the solution. What time do you want to meet up? Looks like a typo. 2 question marks have no purpose. What time do you want to meet up? Feels impatient, immature even. It's an aggressive question. It demands a response and implies that the response had better be to your liking. And lastly, what time do you want to meet up? Too many. Now it's just confusing. Why were 5 question marks necessary? It seems like the kind of person who would write cool. So, use 1 question mark to just move the conversation along, or use 4 to move it along flirtatiously. Anything else and you're doing it wrong. Thanks for joining!
And that's it for our show. Please join us next week for part 2 as we go over how to send mixed signals with just these emoticons. Text on!